Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. We're in our last segment here, and I'm glad you stayed with us. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're at MetroEast Community Media. And now tonight, we're going to finish out our show talking with the League of Minority Voters. And here to represent the League of Minority Voters, I have the co-chairs of this organization. Morgan Anderson, you are a co-chair. You are with Intel, is that correct?
That's correct.
You're the Chief of Staff for Talent there. And you're devoting your time here also as a co-chair of the League of Minority Voters. And Bud Pierce, you are the other chair and have done a lot of work with this organization. You're a doctor here locally. You were a former president of the Oregon Medical Association. Correct. And have a lot of good political background to add to this. So thank you, both of you, for being here tonight. Could one of you give me a little bit of background, if you would, about the League of Minority Voters and why it was formed?
Sure. Well, it was formed nearly 10 years ago, and it started here in Oregon. There is actually no League of Minority Voters across the country.
So this was the first one.
Formed. Yes, indeed. And we've expanded to a total of 4 states, lots more opportunity out there. But it really was formed to address issues that uniquely affect minority voters. And so we've been able to shine a spotlight on those issues and really include a lot of people who felt like they haven't had a place before to access government.
Right. Okay. And we were talking to Promise King, who's the founder of this organization, and I can't believe it's going to be 10 years. So you'll be celebrating your 10-year anniversary here with the organization. And he was saying something about how the League of Women Voters was founded years ago because women, didn't really have a say. And now the minority voters and people of color have just not had that level of civic engagement that they should be able to have. Tell me, what does the League do to try to foster that, or to encourage that, or to help people reach that level?
Well, it's empowerment, facilitation, participation. So the basics are register to vote, and there's an active get out the vote drive, but there are meetings of community leaders to let them talk about community issues that are unique to the minority community, sponsored debate teams in high schools. We have a civil rights meeting coming up on October 27th. We have an annual banquet. And the way I would think about it is we really want to get all the great talent out of all of society, especially the minority community, to engage politics, to participate in politics. We want to be that conduit so that they can engage and actually develop political power and ideally fill leadership roles. So this is a way, just like when you think about the League of Women Voters, back when they started, it was just to get the vote. And now we have a woman running for president of the United States.
Imagine that.
So what we want, and we've had President Obama, so we've been successful there, but really, we really want a lot more participation. We want it at all levels of county, city, and state government. And again, it's a talent issue because you have incredibly talented people within the minority community, like all throughout community. And when we don't have them actively engaged, we don't have them sitting at the table solving problems, and we don't have their voice, and we don't have their leadership, we're diminished as a society. So our goal is absolutely to get them to participate. And a lot of times you have to break down barriers because when you're outside looking in, even if you're being invited from the people inside, you don't feel comfortable. So we need to be those facilitators to gain that trust, gain that comfort, and to move the minority community into its rightful place of leadership.
So why is that? Why is it that you can be invited in yet not feel comfortable or welcome, or feel like you're okay to run for office or to participate in civic civic roles? What is it? What are the barriers that you're aware of?
Well, I would say one barrier is just being a Republican. I'm trying to have a huge outreach to the people of color, and I will invite people to a meeting, and if I'm not there, they'll say, Well, Bud, it was nice to be invited to the meeting, but when I got there, I didn't really have that welcoming. I didn't know anyone there. I didn't have anyone really to talk to. So it gets as basic as that. And then if you're gonna think about running a campaign, you need to have people to gather around you that will support you. So there's a lot of, it's relationship building. And so
Right.
when you're on the outside of relationships, how do you get invited in and be made welcome and start establishing those relationships? So again, your talent and your leadership ability can shine through. And I think that's again what we need to do. We need to invest really in human capital and human talent. And the way we can do that as an organization, again, is to educate and empower and get people to participate, and then help them start making the connections with the people who are leading us now. And that's where, because that is actually where the power lies.
And as Bud said, it's all about inclusion. And so it's equally important that our elected officials and those running for office hear the voices of our minority population and understand the issues that are critical, and that they are really addressing those issues and creating solutions. So as Bud said, it's all about inclusion.
Well, as you build those relationships, then those people may be encouraged to actually run for office and fill those roles,
Absolutely.
and become leaders, for the people that they already know, for the relationships they've already built, and
Correct.
expand on that.
Correct.
Yeah. So you mentioned something about it's a Civil Rights Candidate Forum that's coming up. Is that the one that you were
Yeah,
referring
there's a
to?
forum coming up, and the governor will be there, and I'll be there, and there'll be a guest receiving an award, and it should be a great celebration, and there'll be brief talks, and then people answer questions. And again, it's just a way to start getting that community participation with people that are in the case of the governor, certainly the leader of our state, and let them have a free question and answer session and just participate and meet people. And one thing is when you have someone who's sitting there, especially a young person, and looks at like the governor of Oregon, and they'll say, I could be there.
Right.
And they listen to that person speak, I could be there, I could do that. And just having that experience can be that life-changing moment. And that person, 10 or 20 years from now, could be the governor of Oregon, be it a young male or young female. And so again, it's very important to get people together in the same room, get people, whether they're minority or non-minority, who are leaders, people who are aspiring to that, who have an interest in leadership and in politics, and just put them together in a room, get them talking, show the human side of leadership, and really encourage people.
Good.
Huge encouragement.
We're also excited to have Billy Williams,
Absolutely.
who was with the Department of Justice,
he'll be
U.S.
great.
Attorney, who will also be addressing issues on civil rights. So
Wonderful.
it should be a very inspiring evening.
Now that's on October 27th at the Salem Convention
Salem.
Center.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are interested, they can go to the website and get information
Correct.
about tickets and that kind of
Absolutely.
thing. That'll
We'd love to
be
have
great. Yeah.
We'd love a great turnout.
Good. Now, let's see here. You have other events that go on throughout the year periodically. I attended one a couple of years ago here in Portland, and it was wonderful. And I actually met a lot of wonderful people some of whom I'm still in contact with. So kind of good
luncheons.
networking opportunities
Sure.
too. But I think we have some pictures from some previous events that maybe we could take a look at. You can
Great.
and tell me
Okay.
if you were there, what it is we are looking at here. Let's see if we can take a look at those here. Okay.
So that one,
I
we
see
have
Promise
high-powered
peeking
people.
from back, peeking over the shoulder there.
Yeah, we obviously have a lot of high-powered political talent at that event. That looks a celebration or recognition event. That's probably our summer event.
Okay.
And this looks like more of the idea of a luncheon and a discussion and meeting and letting people talk in a forum-like event.
Yep, same.
There we are.
Celebration. That's our celebration.
Yeah.
With again high-powered people at the table and awards being given and dynamic speeches being given, and we see there on the table in front it's a description.
I think you're seeing a theme, though, that it's about advocacy, it's about highlighting solutions, it's about bringing people together, and here's our students.
I was going
which
to say,
we're
these are
excited. Yes.
a younger crowd here.
Yes, as Bud mentioned, we support debate teams and leadership programs with students, again, making sure that we're developing our young population into the leaders that they're soon to become.
I think that's a wonderful thing.
That's a great group there. Same idea, young people.
So the young people you work with, where are they from? Are they in the Portland area? Are they all over the state? What?
Yeah, mostly Portland metro area, but
Yeah.
also further outside in Salem, and we're actually partnering now with Chemeketa.
Oh, really?
Community
Oh,
College.
good,
So,
good.
We're very expansive in our reach.
That's really the future, to work with the kids and really get them involved in and creating a passion for, getting involved in the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that.
Our future.
Yes, and it really is
Yeah,
our
our
future.
future.
So where do you see it going from here? What do you need from some of our viewers? If somebody wants to get involved with the League of Minority Voters, or they have concerns about this, what would you encourage them to do?
Well, we're going to be beginning a membership program, and so there's an opportunity there. We have various events throughout the year where you can come and be a voice and hear candidates and elected officials, and making sure that our community is well served. And then there's volunteer opportunities. As you saw, we're doing a lot of outreach with students, and
Right.
so we'd love to have more people engaged and
Okay.
really, I think, changing the tone and making our community even better.
Good. Well, I know there's been a lot of racial tension in our country this last year, and to be able to bring, all races together and to encourage, minority voters and people of color to become involved, I think that's really important to just to move our country forward. So I really appreciate the work you're doing.
I would say get people working together, because when people are working together around a cause that's greater than themselves, they get lost in the passion of the mission, and then they start looking at each other as fellow human beings that are working together on a great project, and they don't so much look at the minor differences that
Right,
are
they see
amongst us, because they see that the value of the person, because they're again their companion on a journey. So I think whether you join the League of Minority Voters or any community activity or through your work where you're there with a diverse group of individuals, you can really learn to love people and see them for what they're really worth by that participation in life. And that's where we really want to go.
I agree with that. So your mission, what is the actual mission of the League? Is it for people to become to vote, to become civically engaged, or what is the actual mission?
It's really to educate and drive inclusion and raise awareness on key issues for minority community members.
Yeah, participate, facilitate, empower. And we are looking at community leadership through the political process, because we do feel like that's a valuable route to go, the politics or the leadership of our society.
In schools, when you're working with kids, what do you encourage them to do to become involved? How do you light a fire under a kid to
Well, be good students, learn, work hard, work with your fellow students. The debate team is a great way to learn how to, again, work to the great cause of the success of the debate team, and to value your fellow classmate, and to stay actively involved in the community of your school. And then we like to have that outreach where we bring them into the adult-like activities, and they can watch us, and you invite them to the Civil Rights Forum and things like that, so they can get a taste of that. So again, it's really an encouragement to be a good student, to work hard at your school, to again engage, to participate, look at the other children, your fellow classmates as people, and just that's really a good way to go.
I think that a lot of kids think maybe they don't want to be in politics, so they maybe shy away from that kind of thing, but really those are building leadership skills that will serve them in any part of their life.
Correct.
And so really, if we can encourage the kids and just our neighbors, whoever, to become involved in things that affect all of us and affect the kids that were coming up behind us, that's really, really important. What do we need to know about the League of Minority Voters that maybe we don't know? What is there that, what can you tell us that we should know about?
I think that there's just there's a place for everyone, right? And we are all about bringing communities together and making sure that all voices are heard, everyone has access to government, and that we are working as one community to drive solutions that will really make our community that much stronger.
And we are I'm 60 years old, and I think about the Civil Rights Movement, because that was so dominant in my life. And that was when people of color and people who weren't of color joined together to transform society. So if we're going to take the next step, which is economic justice, true equality, it's going to take people of color and people not of color to join together to make that great future possible. So That's really the goal. We want the league in all 50 states. We want it in all the cities and towns of Oregon, and again, as a mechanism to get us really to that promised land that we want to get to, and we know we're not there. We know we're
Well
not
said.
there.
Well said. We're out of time. Thank you both very
Thank you.
much, Morgan and
Thank
Bud, for being
you.
here tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. I hope you learned something, and be sure to go out there, be sure to vote, and get involved in your community. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll see you here next week on Community Hotline.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.